If you have watched my content before, you know that there's basically two things that define my personality: programming and anime. So today, I decided to combine those two to scientifically prove what the best anime is once and for all. I hate One Piece, and I don't mean that lightly. Like, I hate it with a passion. Like, it's crazy. It feels like there's 1,300 episodes or something, and it feels like it's just the same 3 episodes repeated over and over again. Like, it's absolutely crazy why people support it. It's so boring to watch. It's just a bad anime. And yet it's revered as, like, one of the best animes of all time, which I find ridiculous. That being said, I do realize that people have their preferences about, like, ooh, what shows they watch, and I apologize, because there probably were some people who got offended by what I just said. So please, if you did get offended, feel free to click off the video right now. I'll give you 5 seconds. So now that all the little shitters are gone, we can continue with the video. Making a program to calculate the best anime in the world is actually pretty simple, but to start we need to collect the data on the anime itself. To do this, I went to Analyst, which is pretty much Weeb Central and has statistics that we can use in order to get a score at the very end. The goal is to collect all this data and then plug it into an equation that I have yet to make, and have it give points to the anime, and the anime with most points at the end wins. I could, in theory, sit down for like a day and put in all the statistics that we require manually, but I'm too lazy. So instead I spent a week creating a web scraping tool that does it for me, and was ultimately a whole lot more work. But being a programmer, this was ideal. To start, we need to get the names of the anime on the trending page of the website. We do this by using an API known as Beautiful Soup. This allows us to basically plug in a URL of the website we want and get the source code for the page. It's like when you were in middle school computer class and you would go into the inspect on a website and change around text to say something funny, but a little more complicated. With this, we can have it search for specific parts of the HTML and have it return the text for it. I then went ahead and did this for the percentage of the anime and the genres just so I can have it. I put a limit for how many it would do this for so that I can make sure my laptop doesn't explode, and it worked perfectly fine, which was honestly really surprising. So I'm recording this on my phone because I'm afraid my laptop's gonna crash here, but basically we're gonna be running a stress test on my code. I have turned off the limits for how many this can go. Before it was 5, now it's nothing. And we're just gonna run it and see what happens. So right now it's loading up the URL page, and now we got our anime from Analyst. It's loading up right now. Gross One Piece. So right now it's just kind of waiting for the HTML of it to load, and holy shit, wait, it actually worked. Oh my god. Why did it stop at Cyberpunk Edgerunners though? That's a bit weird. The reason it stopped is because I am a moron. The reason it stopped after only 20 was because the rest of the animes weren't loaded onto the page. To make sure the loading time is quick, Analyst makes it so, say, only 15 animes are loaded onto the page at start, and more get loaded in once you scroll down. Which is really smart, and makes me look really dumb for not thinking of that. As far as I know, there are 2 ways to get around this. Either to look through the network tab to see what function is being called to load an anime, which I don't know how to do, so we're going with the other method, which I like to call the caveman method, because you literally just tell it to scroll down the mouse. Now all that's left to do is determine what other factors make an anime good, so like what genres and what tags. There's a slight problem though. If I were to do this myself, it would be extremely biased, and it would be creating what the best anime for me would be, and not the best anime overall. And I hate clickbait, and you all know that. So, really, there's only one thing to do in this situation.
Boom.
So basically I asked 4 other creators what they thought makes an anime good, and completely forgot to tell them that this was for a video. Sorry about that. If you are one of those creators and you want to be scrubbed from this video, just, like, let me know. Just send me a DM and I'll do that. But you're gonna have to fight me in hand-to-hand combat in order for it to happen. Anyways, I decided I would use their responses to create a multiplier for the score to be, well, multiplied 2. That would increase for how many conditions the anime met. There were some responses that were kinda hard to determine. Otter Kids was a great example of this, since he said that the anime needed to have otters in it, and I can't think of a single damn anime that has an otter in it, so I just added everything that was water themed. Mason, from Chief of Bricks, said that it has to be art, so there's really only one thing that could be. My Name Be Bread vetoed romance, just like my parents, and gave it an extra point if it was Attack on Titan, which is fair. And finally, Roscumber said that the cast of characters needs to get along well. And the closest thing I could find to that was the tag ensemble cast, which is gonna have to do. Oh, and I threw in the harem tags. Now all that's left to do is to throw these into an Excel sheet and crunch the numbers. I'll explain what the equation is, but, well, it's A, boring as shit, and 2, basically just multiplying all the numbers together. So let's go ahead and see what the results are.